So when I talk about the artist way, I love sharing with people how much it opened up my life for me. I grew up in a very kind of regimented, do things this way or else kind of background. So when I moved to California and I had the opportunity to take the artist's way, the ability to free form write, to create art, something I'd never really done before, to mingle with people who are doing so many different forms of creativity. You know, they're songwriters, they're musicians, they're actors, they're writers, I could just go on. Just to be in that environment of freedom is so life-changing. So that was the biggest aha about the artist way that I experienced. I honestly didn't know what to expect because it had the word artist in the title, and I didn't consider myself an artist, you know, in that very narrow view that some people have of artistry. So when I went in there as a registered nurse, had no idea what to expect, but it really opened up my life and gave me a smorgasbord of opportunities and directions to go in with my life. I found the artist's way at a time where I literally had kind of left this regimented life in this pre-planned life that I found myself in. I had left that life and I was kind of looking for my own identity. And I didn't even know I was looking for an identity. I just felt like I was floating around looking for some grounding. And one of my friends suggested, well, why don't you go do that and see what comes of it? And it gave me this opportunity to actually think about what I wanted. It gave me an opportunity to write my own stories. It gave me an opportunity to use my imagination in ways that I had never used them before because, as I said, I came from this groupthink background. So it was like, whoa, I can write my own life. I can actually create my own life. I can actually dream about it in any way that I want. And for me, that was huge because I was in a career, I was, as I mentioned, a nurse at the time, and I was burning out left, right, and center because I kept trying to do things one way. And while I was in the artist way, I was able to write about I want to work only 3 days a week. I want to start work at 11 in the morning so that I can sleep. I want my life to look like this. And I kept writing this nursing career that I wanted for myself. And that actually helped me to apply only to jobs that were kind of like that. And it gave me the courage, like, job after nursing contract and so forth. I just kept kind of adding and refining what I wanted my career to look like. So in that way, it changed my life. And by creating my life in a way that matched who I was, it improved my health. It improved my outlook on life. It gave me a lot of confidence about the control I really had over my life where I didn't realize I had any control. So it was like the beginning of uh, getting to know myself in a way
Mm.
and getting to know what I was capable of. And as I said, it was the beginning because I went on from there to start a new career as a therapist and then add on to that as a human design counselor. So my life has become this amazing try it and see if you like it and really to be comfortable with that. Whereas I didn't come from that kind of a background, which was not healthy for me. I'm much healthier in this space of let's write it and see. Let's imagine it and see. Like I love that. And I think the artist way was the catalyst for that. So in that way, it changed my life, I believe. So I found Kelly kind of by accident in the sense that one of my friends really encouraged me to go buy the book. And I did that. And I tried reading it and I thought, oh, this isn't working for me, this reading thing. And I was working in West Hollywood at the time and walking around on Melrose, and I went into the Bodhi Tree bookstore. And on the way in or out, I remember seeing the sign on the door that said The Artist's Way and the dates and the times and so forth. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's exactly what I've been looking for. So when I went to the first class and continued on, it Kelly just has this way of facilitating a large group of people. I think there were about 40 plus in there at the time. Has this really unique way of managing the group where you can sit there and feel like you're working individually with her when you actually aren't. You're in a group. There is a way of working through some of the exercises where you're getting so in touch with yourself that it feels like she directed you there, directed you to, you know how they say about leading the horse to the water. She kind of takes you to the water, you drink, and you're like, oh my gosh, I need more of that. And Kelly is the one who's facilitating it. So she made the Artist's Way book come alive in real life. She was very good at breaking us up into little groups where we learned so much more about each other, giving us the prompts and the direction that we could bring out the best in each other. And I think one of the reasons that I kind of still hang out with Kelly is because the whole experience had such an impact on my life at a time that I needed it. And she was the one that was teaching it. And I have no one else to compare it to. And I can't imagine there's any comparison because it happened at a time in my life when I needed exactly what she was offering. And when I think about encouraging people to take the Artist's Way, I mean, I do it spontaneously and I do it with passion. And, if you get a chance to do it with Kelly, do it because she has a lot of integrity and belief and passion around her work. And for me, that's very important because I feel that not in an intellectual way, I feel that in my body. So that's why I think I'm very passionate about telling people about her because there's an integrity and an honesty and just a belief in what she's saying and doing that. I mean, I honestly couldn't say enough about how taking it with her was helpful. I couldn't have done it on my own reading the book, and she was just the right person at the right time. Well, the background of my group think experience is really being raised in a religion where if you tried to kind of do your own thing or you questioned anything, you were considered a bad person and you were disciplined. And sometimes you were even kicked out. And from a young child, I looked at that and it didn't sit right with me. I thought, ooh, like that doesn't feel good. And why do you punish people for wanting to be like that? But anyway, what do I know as a kid? So I grew up in this organization that said, okay, this is what you do. You say this, you do these actions, you just follow the rules. And I chafed under that. I really, really did. And it wasn't until I managed to leave, I practically had to flee the country, flee my city to get away from that organization. And I settled in California and settled in the area of Los Angeles where there were a lot of people who are doing their own thing. So I live very close to Venice, California, Marina del Rey, the South Bay. People are just enjoying their lives, and there's a lot of hippies around here. And I found out that I'm kind of hippie-ish, and I love all the new agey stuff and thinking outside of the box. And my personality is very much like that. So being in the group think was so chafing because I'm the kind of person like, oh, that's so cool. Let me try that. Or let me put my own spin on that. So once I moved to California, I moved away from groupthink, but I needed a new way to think or new ideas to replace all of that. And in that way, taking the Artist's Way exposed me to people who maybe their whole lives they had been taking chances and using their own talents to make money their way. And I was like, what are you doing? Wow, how are you doing that? Like they're kind of inventing themselves and um, finding ways to make money with their own passion. And those were all new concepts to me. And that's kind of how the Artist Way helped me build up my own identity, in that I can do that too. I can try
Mm,
that. And the more I learned about myself, through the writing and all the other things that the Artist Way opened me up to, I learned that I'm the kind of person that really can't do one thing forever. I need to kind of change as I go along. So I did all I could with nursing, and then I learned a new modality called human design, and I used that again to help me mold my personality and figure out who I was. So as I learned about my stamina and the qualities that I shine with, and I really was like, whoa, those are good qualities. Oh, no, those aren't bad things, and so forth. I thought, oh my gosh, not everybody knows about this thing. So I want to teach them about it. So I started just doing that. And I learned that I'm a certain type who doesn't have a lot of energy to run around and do a lot of physical things. So I just started working with what I know how to do, which is to talk and to teach people and to guide people and to help them bring out their own zone of genius and to own their own. So basically, I'm teaching people to do what I did. And the Artist Way just gave me a foundation to go forward with that. And that is no longer groupthink, because even though I'm sort of teaching them to break out of things, they have the freedom to make it their own. And that's exactly what I learned in the Artist Way, which is, okay, here's some exercises and stuff we can do and people you can hang out with and learn how to be free, but now go do your version of free. And I think that's what the Artist Way helped me to do, in terms of leaving this restrictive lifestyle behind, which nobody should have to live under. It was the catalyst again, as I said, for breaking out of groupthink.